All Blacks fullback. Who should be the guy? That's a debate that's going on in New Zealand right now. We've got Will Jordan from the Crusaders. We've got Jordie Barrett from the Hurricanes and Damian McKenzie from the Chiefs. All these guys had really good Super Rugby Aotearoa campaigns, largely playing at fullback, but not exclusively. Let's have a look through their stats from the campaign, some of their attacking stats, defensive stats, kicking from hand, and then goal kicking, which obviously doesn't apply to Will Jordan. But anyway, we'll go through the numbers and maybe see who brings what to the table in what kind of area. Just before we start, I should say, remember, it's rugby union. It's not baseball where you can purely look at stats as a one-on-one contest. There's loads of variables like how much possession your team had, what kind of ball they had on what side of the field, like what position you're playing. Like DMAC literally floats between 10 and 15 depending on who else is on the field with us. Sometimes you get started at 10, so that's reflected in the numbers. So just remember, stats in rugby are not as kind of black and white as they are in some other sports. So take that into consideration and then you can draw your own conclusions from that. Here come the numbers. Let's have a look at some attacking stats. I'm looking at things like run meters, clean breaks, and defenders beaten. And I've also had a look at what I call the chance of a clean break, looking at their rate of clean breaks compared to their rate of carries. Now, run meters, your first guy is Will Jordan. Average is 86, DMAC 63, Jordie Barrett 54. First, second, third. Clean breaks, Will Jordan, 11 clean breaks in the competition. DMAC had 8, Jordie Barrett had 8. And defenders beaten, it's Will Jordan. Defenders beaten 26. DMAC had 22. Jordie had 18. So kind of easily for this one, for your attacking numbers, you've essentially got first, second, and third. And I should say quite happily, although the minutes may not match, these guys all played 8 games. So it's kind of at least a little bit more of an even playing field in that regard. If you want to look at how many carries they had and then what was the chance of them generating a clean break, Jordie and DMAC are pretty even, 9.64 for DMAC and 9.76 for Jordie. That's the chance, like almost a 1 in 10 chance that if they carry, they will generate a clean break. But for Will Jordan, it's 15.9%. Almost a full 5% greater chance that he is going to just scythe, cut through that defense like a hot knife through butter. Like, you see it happen, but there it is in the numbers. He is just that much more likely to do that kind of thing. Attacking wise, he is an absolute unit. Now, defensively is a bit of a different story. Sometimes fullbacks have a difficult tackle to make. If the other team's got 2-on-1 or that kind of thing, they put themselves in a difficult position. So often they have the teams some of their worst defensive stats. That's just a thing. Tackling percentage, Will Jordan 76.19, DMAC 79.55, and Jordie Barrett 65.71. And the number of tackles they made, DMAC is first, 35, Will Jordan second, 32, and Jordie Barrett is third, 23. So you can look at it if you want to go simply first, second, third. But I would say with that one, keep in mind the amount of time DMAC goes into 10 means he's in all likelihood going to have more guys to tackle and probably not going to be quite in those same one-on-one situations that your fullback is going to be in. Now, an interesting stat which maybe goes along with this, you can consider it as a defensive stat, as maybe kind of like their reliability. How likely are they to like catch a ball without dropping it, or run a ball without dropping it, or kick it without kicking it out on the full? And that's largely represented by the turnovers conceded. So how often when these guys get the ball, are they going to keep it safely? Interestingly in that one, I'm not going to put it on the board, but Jordie Barrett is your safest pair of hands. There's only around about a 4% chance that he's going to drop or concede the ball to the opposition. For DMAC, it's a bit higher, almost 4.5%, but very similar to Jordie Barrett. But interestingly for Will Jordan, it's over 10%. So his chance of coughing up the ball is about double the other two guys. So maybe that's another thing to take into consideration. Maybe he's looking for a crazy offload. Maybe it's the way he carries the ball. Maybe he's not as good under the high ball. Could be loads of factors, but just kind of keep that one in mind as well. Kicking. Now this kind of speaks to the styles that the teams are going to play. If you want to see how often these guys kick, Will Jordan kicks approximately 2.9 times per game. 2.9 times. D-Mac kicks 9.8, and Jordie Barrett kicks a whopping 15.8% of the time. I wasn't able to get the meter stats as to how far these guys kick per kick, but generally I would say it's this man, Jordie, who gets the most meters out of his kicks. Then it'd be D-Mac, and then it would be your man, Will Jordan. Now again, you can say this is a role. Will Jordan, given the fact that he is so much more likely to generate a clean break, why would he kick it when he can just run it through teams? But that's just the role they're playing. Interestingly, if you look at the style these guys play, it's really clear in their numbers, and they've definitely got different roles. Will Jordan, he will carry it 46% of the time. He'll only kick it 15% of the time, and he'll pass it 38% of the time. So carries first, passes second, kicks third. Kicking is his last option. It's not what he wants to do. And maybe it's an area of his game he needs to improve on, but then again, maybe he's just following team instructions, playing to his strengths. D-Mac, his number one is passing. Passes 55% of the time, kicks 21%, and carries 23%. So more than half of the time he's going to kick it. Again, he played 10, so that's really not surprising at all. And then Jordie, it's about kicking for him. 45% of the time he kicks it, and then the other split is basically between carrying and passing. So, yeah, 3 guys, 3 different leading stats. You got a kicker, a passer, and a runner amongst those guys. So, as I said, kind of not all that surprising. Now, goal kicking is essentially a 2-horse race because it's not applicable to your man Will Jordan. He doesn't take the goal kicks, but it is applicable to D-Mac and to Jordie. D-Mac's goal kicking was at 81%, and Jordie's was at 73% in Super Rugby Aotearoa. Yeah, it's an interesting one. If you want attack, you got Will Jordan. If you want defense, apparently you got D-Mac, but I would say more for his distribution. I should probably put that up as a different stat, but anyway, that is what it is. And if you want kicking, you got your man Jordie. So, yeah, the stats, I think, kind of reflect what we've all seen watching the games. Fozzie's got an interesting decision. Does he want that kind of second playmaker? If he does, I would say in that case, D-Mac should be playing 15. Does he want an out-and-out attacking fullback? If he does, in that case, he should be playing Will Jordan. Or does he want to play territory? Does he want a guy to really, take those long-range kicks? Then Jordie Barrett is probably going to be the guy. Now, we all know that he's probably not going to play any of these guys at fullback. He'll probably bloody put Jordie Barrett on the wing, and he'll put D-Mac at 23, and he'll put Will Jordan on the other wing, because they like doing that kind of thing. But anyway, here are the stats presented to you guys, hopefully in a helpful way, to kind of give some information on the decision that Fozzie has got to make. It may be that he picks his fullback, with a mind that the first 5s haven't been as reliable as the fullbacks at the goal kicking. So that may be a factor he takes into account. I would say personally that D-Mac's most likely jersey is going to be 23, but I could be wrong. Who knows what Fozzie's going to do. I know he likes chucking Jordie on the right wing, and Will Jordan certainly needs some more minutes. He needs to, basically get more chances because he's still got room to develop. He's still a very young man as well. But yeah, there you go. What do you guys reckon? Who is the front runner? D-Mac's the only guy with 2 firsts. So do you think he should be the fullback for the All Blacks? Do you think we need that long range boot, reliable as well, which is Jordie Barrett? With that kind of safety net that he provides under the high ball. He's a big man. Or do you think Will Jordan, with his pure attacking prowess, can just cut teams to bits like nobody else can, and he should be the front runner? You guys let me know your thoughts. Do drop the video a like if you managed to get this far through it and you enjoyed it. It took me a wee while to research it, but it's all in good fun. I got a Patreon link in the description if you want to support the channel. Buy me a coffee, follow me on Twitter, all that kind of stuff, guys. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.